the perfect past, and the Präteritum. In this video we are going to cover the differences, where to use them, and then some practice examples. Let's take a look! So, hallo und willkommen zu German Efficiency. Let's start this off with the perfect past. In the perfect past, we put the verb habe to the second place and our second verb goes to the end and we add in a GE. Let's take a look at some common examples. Ich habe geschrieben, ich habe gespielt, ich habe gesprochen, ich habe eingekauft, ich habe etwas verkauft, ich habe mich bedankt. So what can we see on those examples? We can see that the verb habe goes to the second place and then the second verb gets a GE at the end. So what we can also see is that the endings in the past often get an EN or a T, and sometimes the vowel changes a little bit. We can also see that some verbs get the GE after the pre-syllable. That happens on the separable verbs. For example, einkaufen. What we can also see is that verbs that have a VER do not get a GE. That also happens on BE and ENT as a pre-syllable for the verbs. Then we have a bonus verb, studieren. A lot of students say, ich studiere Deutsch, which basically means I study in university. But what most people want to say is, I learn German, like not in university. So what you want to say usually is, ich lerne. So what's the interesting thing about that verb? In the past tense, we do not get a GE for that verb. So we say, ich habe studiert. Okay, so where do we use the perfect past? We use the perfect past for speaking and for writing. In general, it is a little more common than the Präteritum. Where do we use the Präteritum? We use the Präteritum on the modal verbs. So you're probably familiar with the modal verbs already. We have 6 of them, and they are will, darf, kann, soll, muss, and mag. So let's take a look in the Präteritum for the modal verbs first. The modal verbs for I get a TE at the end. So we say, ich musste essen, ich wollte schreiben, ich sollte machen, and so on. So what we can see here is, we do not have a GE and we do not have the verb habe. We put a TE at the end. So what happens to those verbs that are not modal verbs? For example, ich esse becomes ich aß. They do change a little more. Further down the line, we're going to have more practice videos for modal verbs, Präteritum, Perfekt, and the several verbs. So then you can go in more in depth and practice a little more. So let's wrap this up. The perfect past is more used than the Präteritum. It is used in writing and in speaking. But since it is a little longer, we often tend to use the Präteritum past tense in writing. An exception here are the modal verbs, which we tend to use in Präteritum for writing and for speaking. An interesting thing is that a lot of people think they have different meanings, but that's not really the case. It more depends where we use them. If you have any further questions, let me know in the comments down below. I hope you have a nice day, and I see you in one of my next videos.